Hello everybody, it's Mike, and I've been wanting to make this video for a while about research because I'm older now. Denise and I are older people. We grew up in the 70s and 80s, and back then I know there's always talk about people, I don't know, you kind of, like where you live really made a huge difference in what you do with your life. And it was important that, you know, if you grew up in a really poor neighborhood or something like that, that you really didn't have many advantages. And that's kind of, in my opinion, kind of phased out over time because, like, you're probably watching this video on some kind of digital device that you have, and everybody has them. Everybody's connected to the internet. There was talk for a long time about the digital divide, people who had access to high-speed internet and people that didn't. But nowadays, everybody has access to high-speed internet, literally everybody. The problem is that most people are wasting their time on the internet. They're playing games, they're getting involved in the matrix, and they're meeting people, but they're like really not learning social skills. They're not spending time researching because all the information's out there, but they're just using it for consumption. You know, entertainment. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to kind of mention in this video, is that that's the real difference now. Doesn't matter where you live, especially with Starlink launching now, and now you can get internet high speed almost literally anywhere on the globe. What matters is your ability to research something and get something done. That's what makes the difference between anybody anymore. I know that we're entering a period of time where maybe the robots are going to take over certain jobs, and maybe it's a good thing, jobs people don't want to do, but you can still, I say we're in a time now, since we haven't reached that yet, where literally anybody can do, like I said, whatever they want as long as they research. What are your thoughts about this, Denise? That's
true. Doing a little extra research up front can save you so much time. This reminds me of my daughter's dilemma. I'm not going to say any names, but she's 32 and still doesn't have a really good paying full-time job. She went to school for ICD-10, which is an international medical coding language, for 2 years and got her license to do this, and was never able to find a full-time job in it because all of the hospitals want you to have a background in nursing before you start doing billing. And the ICD-10 license isn't even required. Familiarity is preferred, but it's not required. It's like somebody created this designation just to get money off of the certifications. But she could have found that out if she would have looked at more job descriptions.
Done better research, yeah. AKA done better research.
Yeah, and now she noticed to get a job as a insurance agency customer service rep, you need a license. But usually they want a property and casualty license, which is, you know, auto and home. But she thought that the health and life insurance was easier, so she'd just get those two, and she did, and now she can't find a job in that either, because if she would have looked, she would have saw that property and casualty is
when you say look, you mean research.
Some research.
You have to dive into this, you have to spend some time. Right, you just can't, because a lot of times what's out there on the internet, since the information is available, right, are bots and things throwing stuff in your face that they want you to see because they want to, they're businesses, right?
Yeah.
But you got to do your research, independent, your own work.
So if you guys have any ideas on where she can get a job right now as a licensed insurance life and health agent, and, you know, just a steady 9-to-5 job, let us know, because she's only being offered 1099 jobs right now. Yeah,
self-employed. Well, again, just like you said, these are things that you can discover ahead of time by doing proper research. And not just, when I say proper research, I don't mean going to one single search engine. Everybody seems to use Google. Don't need to go there. For all I know, that they will, you know, automatically send you somewhere because there's so much information out there.
Advertising.
You have to be able to weed through it. So
yeah, I also studied Google Analytics, and I know that I can lead you to my ad.
Right.
So,
yes.
Yeah, and that's not proper research.
Yeah, so it's kind of like going back to the library. Like, people who are younger don't even understand why you would even go to a library, I don't think, these days. But you had to do a lot of work to get something found, and now it's so easy. But then that's because it's so easy, a lot of people just forget about the skill of researching something. And like I said, that's all that matters. I think that no matter what you want to do, you know, unless you want to go back and kind of do things, something very traditional. Like if you want to become, let's say, like a teacher in a classroom environment, physical classroom environment, because if you don't, you can just start making YouTube videos like this. Then we're teaching people things. We don't need any credentials or anything. If you want to, you know, be a medical doctor in a regular office and see people who are insurance people, you have to go to school. You have to do that too. That's traditional. Or you can do like what we're doing with our nonprofit here. And I'm working totally outside of the medical system. We're not providing medical care, but we're talking about the food. And as we know, the food is what determines almost everyone's, whether they get disease or not, like 80% of issues, I'd say. So also, like if you want to be, like I say, like an attorney or something like that, you have to do that. But these are just a couple things, or maybe a traditional scientist too. But there's like a billion other jobs you could have, and you can make up stuff too, because of the internet. There's so many people looking for different things out there that you can create a job. But all this is based on your own research, your own independent ability to put things together. And that is, like I said, I'm making this video because I think that's all that matters going forward. Really, it's all that matters, because these very traditional things will probably be phased out, in my mind, over time. I know I'm looking way into the future, I always do. But we're already seeing it with COVID, I'd say, and everybody working remotely. Like Denise is working remotely now. A couple of years ago, she didn't think that would ever be possible. So now that you're working remotely, you have more time. You can research more things, and you have a traditional job too, I guess.
I'm remote 3 days a week.
3 days a week, okay. Well, who knows? But there are lots of jobs that are remote all the time now, right?
And by more time, you mean I spend less time doing hair and makeup and driving. So I have more time before and after work.
Yeah. All right, any other last minute type of things that you want to get in on this video?
No.
Any last minute points? Was it?
Well, you talked about doing research by searching things like written scientific papers, but what about word of mouth research on social media? What do you think that's valuable?
Word of mouth?
Yes.
Gossip?
No, just like when people use Facebook because they're looking for a carpenter or something.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I have jobs like that, or groups. Yeah, that's very. It speeds that entire process up.
So
It speeds everything up.
Counts as research.
Yeah, it does. But you have to do your own research too. You have to do good research, because a lot of times people who are answering those things, I found from running these communities, are either business owners themselves. They don't tell you. They're friends of the owners or family members of the owners. You have to, with a little research and looking at the profile of somebody who responded, you can find out. Or you ask them, hey, or when you ask a question, I don't want to hear from business owners. I don't want to hear from relatives. I don't want to hear from friends of the owners. But anybody else is welcome to answer. Just say that out there, because it's so easy to do some guerrilla marketing. A lot of people do nowadays. You got to be able to look through that. You got to be able to see beyond that and recognize that that is some bad information. So again, it comes down to research. It comes down to your research abilities, your research skills.
Good talk.
Good talk?
Yep.
That's it?
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.